come in. It is 2 o'clock. We're going to start letting folks in from our Zoom waiting room for Life Amplified. Good afternoon or good morning, depending on what time zone you are in. Hi, everybody. We're going to let everyone in. We'll get situated. Hi, Kim's our guest speaker for today. Welcome in, everyone. We're going to wait and see. We got a couple of people we're letting into the waiting room. Okay, we're going to have some fun today, right, Emily? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Get your snacks, get your drinks. We're going to have a light, fun conversation today. So we're just going to get some other people in the waiting room, and then we'll get started. Hello, hello. And hi to our friends on TikTok behind the screen. If you want to see what's on this green screen, go over to Zoom so you can see the decor that we have. Hi, everyone. Okay, so it's just after 2 o'clock. I say we get started. What do you think, Emily?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think, everybody on Zoom? I'm seeing heads. Wonderful. Yes. Okay, thumbs up, heads. I love that. Ooh, you reminded me, Jeff, of the thumbs up. If you have not already contacted me to participate in our emoji application, this is the last week to contact me, Jennifer at amputee-aid.com. Okay, if you want to be part of that, sign on. You don't have to submit your own application. You can sign your name on ours. We're going to try to get that thumbs up emoji in the emoji lexicon this year. Welcome in, everyone. So Lucho is behind the screen. He's going to watch and let other folks in the Zoom waiting room as they're joining us. But because it is 2 o'clock on the Eastern time zone and it is Wednesday, it's time to get together for another session of Life Amplified. So let's get started. Okay, everyone, if you're wondering what is going on with this green screen, don't worry, we'll get to that. But we do like the little apples. So Emily and I were trying to pick some apples for our snack. Promise this will make sense in a minute. We have had 2 amazing weeks of sessions for our theme for May, which is personal advocacy. But they've been a little dense. We've had employment advocacy. We've had financial advocacy. We are continuing that theme today by talking about advocating for personal time, me time, and that means all things fun, hobbies, and blogging with our guest speaker, Kim. Because of that, we wanted to have a little bit of a lighter atmosphere. So welcome in, everyone. Let's do our introductory things first, right? All right. I am Jennifer. I'm the Executive Director for Amputee Aid. Amputee Aid is a 501c3 nonprofit located right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, serving folks in the limb loss and limb difference community all over the country. And thanks to our friends in Canada, also in Canada. Hello to our Canadians. We get together every Wednesday for an event sponsored by Amputee Aid called Life Amplified. If you're watching us live on Zoom or on TikTok, that's where you are now. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hi to YouTube. Please consider joining us live one Wednesday at 2 o'clock because you can do a lot of fun things with us, like interact live with us in the comments and get in on some giveaways, which we're going to get to in a moment. So for all of our folks who have been with us for a while, we like to say hi. I see some hellos. How are you doing? What's the weather like? What are you doing for fun? But I'm going to add a new question in for the introductory chat, okay? What do you like to do for fun? That's the topic for today. So let's start off that way. I love going to the farmer's market. So I put us in the farmer's market for our conversation today. That's where Emily and I are. We created a farmer's market with our green screen. But we're going to be talking all things that you like to do. And we're going to be weaving that into a larger conversation about personal time, personal advocacy, and mental health for folks in the limb loss and limb difference community. Things that are activities, hobbies, crafts, like things you like to do, downtime, that's not irrelevant. That's a big part of your whole person wellness. We believe in that here at Amputee Aid, and that's what we're talking about today with our guest speaker, Kim from Amplitude Magazine, also Community Advisory Board member here at Amputee Aid, and a huge staple in the community. Kim, sit tight for a minute. We're going to get to you because we got lots of questions for you to kick us off on our conversations. But y'all, this is an interactive session. So you can put your comments in the chat. Lucho behind the screen, as well as Emily and I, will do our best to read them. But don't hesitate to come off of mute at any time. Interrupt us. Feel free to interrupt us. We do that all of the time. Or raise your little emoji, any kind of emoji that you would like. We would love to hear you and hear your input, comments, things as well. And I'm already seeing in the chat, I know we've got Iowa in the chat, we've got Florida in the chat, we've got Connecticut in the chat. Hello, Indiana, nice and sunny, 61 degrees. Ooh, I love that. It's hot here. I see some activities too. Auctions and garage sales, love it. Travel, I saw tinkering in the garage a little bit ago. I saw doing hair, yes. Miss Aisha, I need some help. Okay. I may need some tips from you. I'm just going to say it's a little bit bigger today than normal. All right. Traveling. Love that. Yes. Or, it doesn't have to be something expensive that you do. If you just like to sit at home, read a book, breathe in the fresh air outside, spend time with family, all those things are great too. That's the stuff we're talking about today. So start thinking. Thrifting. Yes, Lori. Yes. You and me, we are kindred spirits. I should have made this a thrift shop. No, we'll leave it. Lisbeth did a great job picking the farmer's market for us. So, Emily, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
What is your favorite hobby?
I love to go to comedy shows.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to one next week and I'll be seeing D.L. Hughley. So that one's going to be a good one.
Because you all know she loves comedy. Okay. All kinds of comedy. So sometimes I got to hit you up. I got to go with you.
Yeah.
So you have some more explanation to do about policies that we have at our webinar.
Yes. Okay. So Jennifer talked about, we want you to come off mute and comment and interact with us, but just be mindful that this is, although we're live now, it is being recorded and it's going to be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So if you're someone that doesn't want your voice on the internet, just please be mindful. You can go ahead and put your comment or your question in the chat. And like she said, we're all monitoring it. So we will catch that, but just be mindful that your voice will be caught on the internet. Also, this is a safe space. Just please be mindful and kind. And this isn't really the forum for super personal stuff. If you have an issue or something going on more personal, please reach out to Jennifer or I, either through our email if you've already worked with us before. If you haven't worked with us before, you can go on our website, www.amputee-aid.com. And in the corner is the little blue Get Help button. And you can fill that out and we'll contact you.
Yeah. We would love to work with you, answer your questions, help you find resources, help you pay for things. Amputee Aid does a lot of things in addition to financial support. Social services is what Emily does, advocacy, resource navigation, helping you with your prosthetic device, helping you with your scooter, or helping you get back to a state of normalcy that makes sense for you. And that today includes activities. Now, before we go further, I see this watching the New York Yankees. Good for you is all I will say. The Detroit Tigers are on a 14 losing streak right now. And all of you know, if you've been here for a while, I love my Detroit teams. The Tigers, not so much right now. So good for you. Sports, I love that. So let's kind of, I was going to say, let's introduce the venerable, renowned Kim. But I forgot.
Our giveaway.
Okay. Yes, another giveaway. We try to do these as often as we can. This one is in theme for today, our theme being advocating for personal time and me time. Today's gift card is a $50 gift certificate from Artists and Craftsmen online store. Okay, so if you're looking for hobby things, craft things, art kinds of things, magazines, crossword puzzles, all the things that you can do at home for fun, $50 online gift card. Now, the store itself is located here in Pittsburgh, but they ship nationwide. You can use this gift card whether you are in Florida, Iowa, way up in Alaska. My Canadian friends, I think it might work for you. Otherwise, you're going to ship it to us and we're going to ship it to you. Don't tell the store I said that. So in order to enter our giveaway, all you have to do is be on Zoom live with us through the end of the hour. So through the top of 3:00 Eastern time. Okay, so stay with us. Lucho behind the screen is taking down all of your names. Near the end of our session, we will draw the name of the winner and I will drop this in the mail to that person. No obligation. You don't need to send us a report. You don't have to share your crafts. Take a picture. I'd like to see what you make or what you buy with your gift card. But that is in theme for today to kind of support someone who's on our webinar and getting back to A, doing activities that they used to like, or B, supporting you in activities that you're currently doing. So our friends on TikTok, if you want to be in on this drawing, hop on over to the Zoom screen, go onto our page. You'll see the Zoom code. It's completely free to join and you can get in, but you got to be here until 3:00 Eastern time. You must win. You must be present to win, right? As they say often in the boilerplate of drawings. Our friends on YouTube, we'd love to have you here for one of our drawings. So consider joining us live one day. You don't have to be on camera, although we'd love to see your faces or emojis, but you can get in on some of these drawings. And I love all the engagement we already have. Puzzles, cook. I love all of those things. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, so let's get settled into our conversation. Kim is going to be our guest, our interviewee, and we asked Kim to join us for a number of reasons. One of the many reasons being that she is would we call you a bloggist, a blog writer, out on a limb, and we're going to talk about that as one of the many things that Kim does. and how she got started and what that means for her, and kind of set the stage for this conversation. But let me say, as we're introducing Kim, that all the questions we're asking, these are questions for all of you, so we can engage with each other. Okay, so Emily, tell us a little bit more about Kim.
All right. Today's guest is Miss Kim Owsley. She's an amputee, cancer survivor, writer, advocate, and certified peer support visitor, whose journey from having a cancer diagnosis to limb loss has inspired countless people in the amputee community. She writes for Amplitude magazine. She shares honest and empowering stories about adaptive living, recovery, horseback riding, crocheting, and finding purpose after amputation. She shares real-world advice, personal experiences, and practical strategies to help amputees feel more prepared, more confident, and more excited about exploring the world again.
Yay! Welcome, Kim! Woohoo! We love Kim, and also welcome your neighbor in Ohio. I love that. I love seeing people who are nearby each other's states, running, hiking, coloring, all Sudoku, all the things. And Kim, thank you very much for agreeing to come on and be a guest speaker with us. If you all don't know, Kim has been a guest speaker a few times on Life Amplified and actually has one of the highest rated, highest viewed webinars on our YouTube channel, talking about travel. She's done some travel conversations with us. And we've alluded several times to the fact that Kim also has a blog and is a writer for Amplitude magazine. And we wanted to spend this time talking about that specifically because she's a wealth of information. If you are not connected to Kim, you need to be connected to Kim. She shares resources freely. She's in the know for all the things, all the websites, the things you should read. She's got an amazing article about person-first language and amputee-friendly language. Anyway, I could go on and on, Kim, and sing your praises, but that would take the next 12 hours. So let's start with you. Now that I've said all that, is there anything else? Introduce yourself maybe to folks who maybe haven't met you on our Zoom or who are watching our YouTube and don't know who you are. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I am a 15-year veteran of being an amputee. I developed cancer in my foot and ankle. In order to save my life in 2010, they had to amputate. It would be August of 2010. It'll be 16 years this August that I went through both cancer diagnosis and limb loss. And I also went through that cancer for 4 more journeys because it kept popping back up. But thank God he still wants me here. I am still here and I'm technically cancer-free as far as I know. And I have my CT scan tomorrow, my annual one. So you know how no matter what you do, you still have a little anxiety with that. But I am a blogger, writer, but I like so many things. I want to travel. There's all kinds of things that will no longer stop me, you know?
Yeah. So first, let me say we are hoping and sending you all the positive vibes and prayers and good thoughts. Pray to whomever, whatever, nothing at all, Mother Earth and the stars if you want. It's everyone to send good thoughts and vibes to Kim for her scan tomorrow. I saw some head shaking, and I'm sure lots of people have that experience through their medical situations and amputations, that there's always that little bit of a what if kind of seed kind of sitting in your belly. So thank you for sharing that. And also, we'll be thinking about you and hoping for the best for you. And thank you. Despite having that date kind of facing you tomorrow, you're willing to talk about blogging and crafts and all the things. So let's start there, maybe, Kim. And I don't want to say that you only do blogs, because we have received, even at our office, some beautiful things that you've done on the craft side as well. You all might see on our social media, we have this pretty knitted orange ribbon. That was from Kim. But Kim, if we could maybe start with the blogs, give us the history. How did you get into blogging?
I kind of did it sparingly a few years ago, then kind of dropped it, forgot about it. But then when I wanted to be an accessible travel writer, I thought, well, I need to start blogging about places I visit and how accessible they really are here in Indiana. And so I started doing that because I attended Midwest Travel Writers Conference and learned about that. I have a friend that's a travel writer, so I was like, well, I can write about accessibility. But then my car blew up February of last year, so I've been carless since. And so that's on hold until I can figure out how to get another one, and it'll happen. But in the meantime, I do a lot of personal blogging to help both disabled and non-disabled people understand what everyday life is for me as an amputee. What hurdles do I things that you may not see, but I know it's a struggle, or things that you know, I'm not definitely not perfect. I'm not athletic, but I do believe in, a mind, body, spirit, kind of whatever you choose to do, like yoga. I do yoga. I do all kinds of things, but I blog about that. I blog about my everyday life and my experiences. And I have articles on there like, how can the church be more accessible? How can people talk to those with disabilities rather than just not knowing what to say or saying the wrong thing? But also on the other side, I wanted to show how we can change our mindset too as amputees, so that we're not reacting to everything that is said to us, because I've been guilty of that in the beginning, feeling very sensitive about my amputation, and
Yeah.
people just trying to be friendly and joke, but
Yeah. Did you have any special training or background in writing, doing? No. And I think that's
I have to say, I have a degree in journalism. I used to write for
okay.
newspapers and occasionally magazines and websites way back in the day.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, I do have a writing background as a freelancer and correspondent, that kind of thing. But once I became an amputee, I didn't write for years until COVID hit. And I had the opportunity to do some freelance work for a local company and website, and I got back into it, and then eventually started getting paid, with Amplitude recently to write. So
Yeah. Now I'm going to pause here because I saw some folks join us who have joined us since we got started, which is totally fine. Well, you'll see people joining our webinar from another webinar or a break at lunch. If you're wondering what the heck is this background, it's a farmer's market. This is one of our hobbies. Okay, so now you're all caught up. We're talking about hobbies and me time and blogging today. So Kim, for you, blogging it's in part your job, like writing is in part a job that you have, but I get the impression that it's in part, part of your fun time as well. Does that make sense? It's kind of both for you.
yes, I belong to several online Zoom writing groups. They're all free, and there's millions of them out there, I'd say. But I belong to a few that I join every week, and we do fun writing exercises. And I also belong to a memoir writing while I'm working on my memoir, to have that mentor and guidance of writing about my experience and everything. And I really find I've always been that kid who loved to read voraciously. And then when I was in 6th grade, I really took more of an interest in writing when a teacher said, "Hey, you're really good at this. You should grow up and become a writer." And so that was always in the back of my mind. And now I can say I am. So
now let's pause there for a moment, because one thing I'm thinking about is the number of groups that you are in. Most of them are free groups. Is that right?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And I would love. Go ahead, Kim.
I think money sometimes hinders us. I know it does me. I'm on disability, so I can't afford to pay $400 for a 6-week class or whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I look for the free part of, like, maybe it's a 1 night, 1 hour or 2 hour seminar, and somebody's talking about their own book or their own writing. There's lots of that out there. There's lots of free classes to take too. You can go to CuriosityStream, and it's an app, or you can go to different ones like that. Learn anything for free.
That's what I wanted to ask you, Kim, because I think there's commonly this feeling of, I can't participate in activities because it costs money, or I can't afford the top-notch equipment, or I can't, quote, do photography because I can't buy a camera. But there are a lot of things that you could do for free. And one of them, Kim, let's go back to this app. It's called CuriosityStream. Tell us more about CuriosityStream.
CuriosityStream is just other people sharing their knowledge, whether they be a teacher, a professor, or a business person or whatever. I mean, there's documentaries and things on there too, but there's a lot of apps just like that are free or reduced cost for like a couple dollars a month. But then all the classes are free and you don't have to pay for any of them. And libraries, ask your library what's on their website, because sometimes you can find connections there to classes you didn't know. I attend, like today, I'll be attending an afternoon writing course that's put on through a library in Cleveland, Ohio, and so it's kind of a narrative method writing class, so I enjoy that. They give you prompts to write. If you want to share, you can. You don't have to. There's no criticism, no judgment. That's the fun part about writing these days is it's not all about, did I get my grammar right? Did I get the spelling right? AI can fix that for you, I'm sure, but
Right, right. And I would love to see either, in the chat or put an emoji up for our folks joining us on Zoom. If you've ever heard of or used the Curiosity Stream, because I have to tell you, Kim, before you mentioned it, I was not aware of it, but now I'm starting to think like if I want to learn how to cook, or if I want to, like, you could go onto the app and look for a cooking class or a crochet class or a knitting class or something like that. Am I right?
Yeah, you can Google free apps to learn things and get all kinds of apps on Google to look up. I've done that if I wanted to learn something new, or I go to YouTube, put it in and see if there's somebody that's teaching it.
Yeah. Now let's stick on the topic of blogging for a moment. If someone is watching our webinar and they feel like, I want to get into blogging. I want to tell my story. I want to share. I have information I want to share. I want to impart my wisdom. What are some suggestions you have for how someone can get started being a blog writer?
Well, for me, I just was interested in putting my pieces out there. I post a lot of poetry stuff too, because I like poetry. I write it, but read a bunch. Just find people that you really like and subscribe free to their Substack or their Facebook or whatever, and just read. And then you can go on Pinterest and go on there and find a list of ways that you can get started for nothing. And like Canva is there's lots of free places you can do a website for free that is a blogging website. I use WordPress, but there's Wix and Canva and different ones that you can use that are really easy to learn. I would say just, like I said, just learn just watch some videos or read or whatever. And now I am a visual learner. I like watching videos along with readings because sometimes I can read it and go, I still can't picture it. So I like to find a way to visualize it.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk a little bit about, why me time, hobbies are important, whether it's blogging for you, although that is part of your job as well. But for other folks, I've seen in here thrifting, watching baseball games, spending time with family, cooking. Why is that time out of the day important, Kim?
Because life can be stressful enough. I'm single. I imagine a lot of you are single and independent and living on your own. And there's just nobody to spend time with in real life, but there is a lot of things you can do on Zoom. But it's beyond appointments, beyond rehab, beyond your prosthetics, your doctor's appointments. You got to find sources of happiness and joy in your day and make that a priority. Put it on your calendar like I do. Like I do online yoga classes for free. I do meditation. I do I listen to music, different kinds of music to kind of get a taste for what's out there. I mean, you can make a list of things you would like to try to do and do one at a time or 5 at a time or whatever. But for our mental health, it's very important. Our emotions.
Very much.
Yes. Yes, and let's talk more about mental health. But as an aside, we are watching the chat, and I think that some of our live attendees, their hobby is being a comedian. Because I'm watching the side chat here on all the amputee jokes. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I will, and I'll pray that my grandma's okay with it. I'm trying to think of an amputee joke, but I'm stumped. Ooh, okay, y'all. Pay attention to Kim, but I'm liking this too. I'm watching the comedy on the side.
Or April's, please don't pull my leg. It may come off.
Yes. You all know Emily likes a comedian. I see that people are doing that on the side. Keep it up. Okay.
I tell the jokes, you can laugh.
Okay, right. I think we got permission to say those jokes out loud. And if not, Lucho can edit it out of the recording for us. So it's just those of us live who have heard that. But on this topic, everyone, you don't have to come off of it if you don't want to, but I would really like to see some emojis on this or some comments in the chat, and for you as well on TikTok. How many of us struggle with feeling guilty for taking some time to do something fun? You think,
Not
I have to
me.
take care of my kids. I
Not
got to
all
go
the
to the
way.
doctors. I got to work.
Not
I got to
me,
apply for
man.
benefits. Kim's like, no, I got this. And I heard some other people like, no, I know. My time is important. I'm seeing emojis up. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Second question. I want you to all kind of think about this for a moment because Kim made a great point about mental health. We're going to come back to it. I want you to think about somebody in your life who you really admire. You really like that person. That person's a cool person. Just think about it. Give yourself a moment. I really like that person. Okay. Now, you don't have to tell us who it is. Mine today is Kim. Okay. Think about, you're all my favorite people, but I'm going to use Kim as my example. The person that you really admire, you like that person. It's highly, highly likely, I'm willing to bet, that you don't like that person because they're the hardest worker and they got the most money, unless they're taking you on their yacht, and that's okay. I'm giving an exception for that. You like people because they're well-rounded. They're cool. They're interesting. They have a lot of ideas. They have a lot of activities. They're involved in things, right? You like people who are well-rounded. And that's because being well-rounded is a good thing. And part of being well-rounded is learning how to have fun, how to give yourself a break, how to enjoy things that you like. So that, Kim, back to your point, you are supporting your mental health, right? We're not operating on human beings to be going full speed all the time. Everyone needs to rest. And if you don't rest, what will happen? Your body will make you rest, right? And part of rest is giving yourself time to enjoy. All right, so now I'll take my professional hat off and go back to you, Kim. Am I right? That's what we're talking about with mental health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I find that just learning a new thing, I've always wanted to learn how to do watercolor painting. So I've been playing around with watercolors and paint sometimes, and just focusing on that takes me out of the other stuff that's distracting me from just being able to relax or coloring or I join a coloring and coffee group through the cancer support community in Indiana online once or twice a week. And we talk and we color, that's all we do, and it's fun. And so I find that grief can come up at any point in time in your life. Even when you think you're over it, it's just whatever might have triggered it or whatever made you feel a certain way. I still have triggers. I mean, I was diagnosed with complex PTSD from 4 out of 5. By the 4th time of having cancer, I was like, I need to see a therapist because I can't tell my friends how I'm feeling. To them, they think, it's just like the flu, you'll be fine, and try to talk me out of how I was feeling. And that's not good. That's not healthy. It's better to talk to someone who is a great listener and can also be objective and help you see, a different way of looking at things without, making you feel bad about it.
Yeah. And I think if we can kind of draw out 2 points further, Kim, from that comment is, one, I'm envisioning, being involved in activities as a way of also socializing with other people. And whether that is, to your point, doing things virtually, if you're in an area where maybe you can't go to in-person groups, or maybe you're in a point in your recovery or just your life in general where you don't want to or are unable to leave your household, you're able to still engage in activities online in a way that can help you socialize. So, Kim, let's talk about that. As someone from the limb loss and limb difference community, talk to us about the importance of socializing with other people, whether they are similarly situated to you or they're not. Why is that important?
It's also important that we all have something in common, like we're all amputees or have limb difference, and that alone makes you feel safer emotionally to say what you would like to say or to share what's on your heart, at the moment. I mean, and we can laugh together and everything. Community is highly important for our health because the more we isolate, the worse we're going to feel. And isolation is only good for a short time if you're trying to go process something, but sometimes you need to get out of yourself and join a community, whether it's online, in person, or whatever, just to see things in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Even if it's just something somebody else is teaching or doing.
Yeah, and we will, when we send out our recording, everyone, on Fridays, as we always do, we'll include some suggested groups. I saw Van Gregory's comment here. My hobby is participating in virtual groups. True. But that's good. That's what the future president of the United States should do. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I razz Van Gregory that if he ran for president, he would win. And I say that every time I see him because it is true. So campaign manager, I'm auditioning. Anyway, no pressure. But my point I'm trying to make is that there's all kinds of groups. And that is one way of A, socializing, but B, also doing something a little fun that gives you some time to regroup, refocus. Kim, to your point, get a different perspective on life. No matter where you are in your journey as someone with limb loss or limb difference, engage with other people. Related to that, and I saw Peter's comment in the chat too, another part of this is good rest or good me time is better for your productivity, right?
Yeah.
There's a yin and yang kind of thing. If you give yourself some off time, you're better at your productive time too. Kim, what are your comments about that point?
I totally agree because there's times when, as amputees, we're using more energy than we realize. And our heartbeats may beat a little faster when we're exercising or walking fast or whatever. And then the doctors think I need high blood pressure pills. I said, give it 15 minutes. It'll go down. It's just because my heart has to work harder, you know? And I think for me, every afternoon, I have a short bit of time where I just rest and I don't do anything. I just listen to music or something like that and just breathe and relax. That's all you need, you know?
Yeah, great point. So let's pivot there with our next question. And I'm going to start the question with Kim, but I would love to hear from those of you attending live as well. You're welcome to share live, just coming off of mute, or we'll capture the answers in our chat. Kim, there are certain activities that do require accommodations or some adaptations, some of which you participated in. You mentioned yoga a little bit ago. Talk to us about the kinds of hobbies and activities you do that you have found either work well for yourself as an amputee, or you've been able to adapt for yourself as an amputee.
I mean, yoga and exercise, all kinds of exercises online that are for those in the disability community. I join a lot of those. I do it in a chair because I lose my balance after a few minutes, and because I'm, getting older and my body's changing. And so I like to do yoga in a chair, or you can do it standing up, sitting down, you can lie on your bed, that kind of thing. Now, there are some challenges when I go out in public and somebody goes, oh, you can climb this steep hill. And I'm like, I can, but do I want to? No, so there's always going to be a challenge ahead of us that we have to decide how much effort we want to put into it or not. And it's okay if you don't feel energetic enough to climb up that hill, you can take the roundabout and go on the flat land if you want.
Are there any activities, Kim, that you would suggest newer amputees consider getting involved in?
Oh, yeah, you can get in the pool. Most YMCAs, most hotels, most everywhere there's a pool, they have a lift system now that they can just put you on the seat, put you in the water, and bring you back out. You don't have to scoot your butt over and all that. We were at a hotel in Colorado recently, and they even had one for the hot tub. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool, because normally I don't see that. But yeah, you always want to call ahead, though, and ask. But I wear a dry pro sleeve, which the company sold out last year. I don't know what's going to happen in that instance, but you can still buy them on eBay right now. But it's like a big giant silicone sleeve that I squeeze all the air out with a bulb, and then it vacuum packs onto my prosthetic leg. And I can wear my leg in the pool. And that had made a difference. When I was learning to walk, my prosthetist found this, and we put me in the pool, and it's so much easier on my joints to move because I have arthritis. So it was just so much easier. So swimming is one. You can do a lot of things in a wheelchair. Besides, if you're not a basketball player, you do not have to do that. But I know there's pickleball and stuff too. But new amputees, you don't have to do an athletic activity. You can find something like going to nature, going to a park. Almost every state park in Indiana right now just received an ATV type wheels, battery operated wheelchairs.
Mhm.
So call ahead and find out if they have that. Then you can just zoom through the path and enjoy nature and, and fish, or, anything you can do sitting down, standing up, you can almost always do sitting down. So.
Sure. Great point. I'm just imagining all of the sitting activities anyway, like if you want to watch a movie, if you want to learn how to cook, if you want to do crocheting, coloring, crossword puzzles, those things, those are all are healthy for you as well, right, Kim?
Oh yeah, you can any crafty thing, and if you're not crafty but you like other things, reading is definitely a hobby. But at the same time, find a group that you can attend if you're able to get out, and just something like a special interest group. Like I like to crochet, so some libraries around here will have crochets and knitters meet once a week, and we talk and we laugh and we share and we help each other learn a new skill or a new stitch or something. And so there's a lot of things that you can learn to do. You just have to decide, what is it I want to try.
Yeah, great. Now everyone live, I said we're gonna punt to you. Professor Jennifer is putting her hat back on. We're gonna force some participation. Okay, though I love the comments. I'm still seeing all the comments go over here on limb loss, limb difference jokes, including shirts. So Emily and I will start. Okay, we'd love to hear from all or some of you. Oh, thank goodness, President Van Gregory is gonna jump in. Thank you. And we'd love to hear, either a question for Kim, or what I was going to ask is, what activity do you do that makes you happy and why? Because remember, we get a lot of views on our YouTube channel of folks who are new to limb loss and limb difference. We want to encourage them. We want them to think about things that bring the whole person life to them, that bring them joy. And it would be great to share some of the things that you do and why you like it. But that's the question for all of you. But Van Gregory, I'd love to hear. I saw you had your little emoji up there. Did you have a question, comment?
Well, not a question. There's lots of activities hello everyone. There's lots of activities that I enjoy doing. That I do, and I enjoy all of them. But what I was going to say is, back a few semesters ago, I went to the local college. Used to be a junior college, but now it's just a 2-year associate degree college. And they offered classes for continued educations or continued learning classes for $20, and you could take as many classes as you wanted to for that $20 fee. So if you're of that age, but the age group that it was targeting was 55 and older, but they had classes like crocheting, pickleball, walking, water aerobics, watercoloring, pottery, jewelry making, creative writing, and things of that nature. So I started taking those classes just to, get out of the house and just be socializing.
Yes.
And like I say, for those, it was like $20, and you can take as many of those classes as you wanted. Now, they were not credit courses, but they were just, I would say, social classes.
And you're still learning.
Yes, you're still learning. So I took golf and pickleball and walking were the three of those that I took for those classes.
And for you recently, at least according to what I saw on social media, also a choreographer, you choreographed your own kind of dance for April Awareness Month, right, Van Gregory?
Yes, I did. That was actually a credit class. So
cool.
Last semester I took improvisation dance, and I kind of got hooked on the dance because the reason I took it was to work on my balance and my stamina as a form of physical therapy. So I took that one and a self-defense class. And so now I am going to continue taking the dance classes. My instructors have suggested and recommended that I take either hip hop or ballet. So I think I'm going to take ballet, even though I had questions about it. I'm not going to be in a tutu day. No, I
Darn
see your
it.
face over there.
I was going to say, we'll send you an orange one, a bright orange. You can have the short one or the long one.
I think you're going to be in some type of spandex, though.
I think so. It's going to be some kind of spandex.
I want to see you on your toes, standing on your toes.
Well,
How about belly dancing?
But that's what I asked them about is the pointing of the toes. And they were saying that, no, you really don't have to get up on your toes, but because they know my limitations.
Yeah.
So they said that it would help me with the balancing and the symmetry of my body balance and my body movements. And I even told them that I had a very limited range of motion and flexibility, and none of that seemed to be a concern for them. But they deterrent. So they still recommend that I, do the ballet because it would, I guess, train the brain and for the symmetry of the body movements and the balance and all. But my balance has gotten, well, it's done me good to take the classes because I think my balance has increased quite a bit.
It sounds like it. And I love a couple of things to kind of draw out. First, I love everything that you say, Van Gregory, but I also want to kind of pull out two key points here. Number one, your activity has also been, I would not say a supplement, but a support of physical therapy and your physical health as well. So there's that nice matching of the activity isn't just for doing the activity, although that is important too. There's those extra health benefits. Sometimes it's mental and physical. But the second thing is that despite what some people might say are limitations or challenges, they were not deterrents for you and the group that you were signing up with. Like, no, come, you can still do this. And that's a good thing too, because I think especially for our newer viewers who are either with us live on Zoom or YouTube or are watching the recording, sometimes there's this feeling of ruling ourselves out automatically before we even try. Before we even try the activity, I can't do it. But Van Gregory, you are a shining example of why we shouldn't do that, right?
Well, exactly. And I will have to say that my classmates have been so open and inviting to actually learning, and it's a great opportunity to educate, others in that's not in our community. So they've all been like, they have the questions, and a lot of them were like, this is the first time. How does this feel? How does that feel? And it has just been a great opportunity to further educate the general public about limb loss and or limb difference.
There you go. See, so you all see why we're saying personal time is not selfish. It has multiple benefits, or what we call multimodal benefits. Now, I saw some comments in the chat, Lucha. If we can help us scroll back up a little bit. I love all the engagement here on the chat section because I saw some really cool things of the activities that folks like to do. I saw, was it Peter who said music group? I need to know what kind of music are you singing? Are you playing an instrument? And tell us, because Lucho is also a musician and I pretend to be a musician, and we want to have a band we want to record something for the holiday time. Maybe you can join us virtually. I saw, there we go. Yeah. Music group that meets weekly for rehearsals and meals. It's fantastic. Yes. So you're performing, you're doing, but you're also engaging. I love that. I saw interacting with kids, mowing the lawn with zero-tone lawnmower. Legs not necessary to operate. That's true, but mowing the lawn is fun for you, Sharon? I mean, I got a lawn. You can come here. It is not fun for me. But again, activities that are fun but also engaging. I love that. I saw watching Joel Osteen messages. Yes, get your spiritual health, get you thinking about things. Lucho, if we could scroll down a little bit, I saw lots of engagement on the chat, which I love. But we'd love to hear if you're willing to come on mute and share like Van Gregory did. That would be great too. Exercise with a local group, 5 to 6 hours each week. Dang. Okay. Miss Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anytime fitness. Yeah. So again, fitness, but you're also engaging with other people. I love that too. Focus on your mental and physical health. I would say from my side, I'm a crafter. But you low attention span. Okay, so if I make like I mentioned this morning and during a meeting that we had, my grandmother, who many of you have heard me talk about, was a bilateral amputee, amazing woman. I miss her every day now that she's passed, but she was both the typical and atypical grandma. Okay, so she cooked amazing food, always cared for everybody, amazing babysitter. She could crochet and knit like crazy, always was crocheting blankets. But she also drove a red Z28 T-top convertible in the winter in Michigan. Okay, always had and she swore she could drop an F-bomb like nobody. And the day she passed away, she gave the nurse a finger. So that is my grandma in a nutshell. But she taught me how to crochet. I just don't have a large attention span, so I crochet a lot of scarves. That's about as far as I can get. I cannot crochet a blanket, but I like doing that because A, it's fun. B, it's something to take your mind off of a hard day. But C, it reminds me of my grandma. You know. Emily,
also, I want to say that the first summer, because of 2011, I've only had my new prosthetic for maybe 4 months, and gardening. I wanted to just get outside, and my friend rented a spot for us, one for her, one for me. My other friend's little boy, who's now 20, but he was 5 at the time. He and I had a garden together, and we planted it and we did everything, and it wasn't easy. It was a physical challenge, but I was so proud of myself for doing it. And now I just recently wrote an article about how to make these community gardens more accessible. And I attend a church that is in an old school building where I used to have a community garden back in the day. But gardening is so relaxing for me. I mean, sitting on a stool and pulling the weeds or planting things or whatever, I just find, it's just as grounding as if you were, what do they call it? Forest bathing or something like that.
For sure. And so the article that you wrote, Kim, will we see that on Amplitude Magazine or somewhere else?
No, you can see it now on Amplitude's website. If you sign up for the free newsletter, it comes out every Wednesday in your email. And I have another article right now about aging and osteoporosis and amputees.
Ooh, great. And that is in addition to Kim's blog, which if you're not following it, it's Out on a Limb. Okay, you can find her blog. We'll share that information on Friday. Everybody follow that. Because you'll see activity kind of content, lots of content, but some of it is activity related, as Kim alluded to. I wanted to get some of the other chats here, and then Emily, I'm going to ask you that question. What activity do you like to do and why? I saw driving in here. I saw more gardening, and oddly enough, someone else likes mowing too. What is it? You guys. Okay, good for you.
As long as it's a tractor, so you sit on it. It's not like you're.
It's the fun part. Powerlifting. Bench press only to be around others in the gym. I love that. I went to Therapeutic Equine Center this morning. Ooh, therapy with horses. Love that. Hot air balloons. So great. Thank you for sharing that information, Sharon. I love that. There's the amount of activities that folks can do. And for those of you watching us, if you are a new amputee, please don't rule yourself out based on your physical condition. Hopefully our attendees are giving you some ideas of things that you can still do. Clarence, save you, because Clarence has got his hand up, and then we'll go to you, Emily, and then we'll go back to you, Kim. Clarence, go ahead, share your comment.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Clarence, Mr. Robocop leg.
For me, I watching my car.
Yeah.
For me, as a man, you watch a car and you get finished. We always look back, right, and see if we got them tires shining right, the windows clean, and stuff like that.
Yes.
And then I like barbecuing. I was barbecuing when I had my wheelchair, cause my wife, for some reason, she just hinted that Memorial Day coming up, so I gotta amp up so I can barbecue.
I was gonna say, you gotta prepare. You got a couple of days yet before you're gonna be back on duty barbecuing. I saw some emojis go up. I see people agreeing with you. Yeah, because A, it's fun, but also it's engaging with your family. Coming from the Motor City, we also appreciate a good, clean car. Although Emily might disagree because I drove her over here today. Car's not clean right now. But yeah, cleaning your car, doing something physical, but also there's that kind of mental piece of it of being clean and also the pride that you take and looking good. Right, Clarence?
That's right. And I'll say this and then I'll pass it on. I've been trying to marry the mental and the physical.
Tell us more.
The discipline of the mental, that was I focused on first when I started my journey. the mental, because I didn't know how it was going to turn out, right? But the mental aspect of knowing that I got to embrace this and deal with it, because it ain't growing back, you know.
Yeah.
It's my livelihood for the rest of my life. But the physical, because see, I will procrastinate in a minute. Like, I'll take 100 steps and I'm like, woo, I'm blowed.
Yeah.
Then I want to take a break and I'll be like, man, you got to keep going though. You got to keep going.
Yeah.
But that comes from, honestly, guys, that's come from when I first started, because I'll be 9 years in October. But my first 2 years, I didn't care nothing about my residual limb, had a little ache. I was going. You know, I had this motor in me that I'm gonna overcome all the obstacles at the time. But that's before I got in these groups and start understanding we can, but we got to do it in moments and spurts. And you know what I mean? Sometimes you can overdo it.
Yeah.
And then it had you sitting down and you got to recover and stuff like that, and then start messing with your psyche. Like, that's why I said marrying the mental and the physical, because you need both disciplines, right?
Yes.
But I love these groups because it motivates me to go out and do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can see Van dancing. Now, I ain't finna dance. I
No
can see
ballet
Van
feet.
running. I can see Van running a 5K. I said, well, if he run 5K, I could do 2,000 steps.
That's right.
That's how I look at it. I'm not trying to do 5K because
I
that
thought
ain't
you were
in
going
my.
to say I could do 10. If I could do 10. You know?
So if I can do 2,000, I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with Van in my mind.
Yeah. And Claire, I think you're kind of touching on a point that Peter made earlier today about the rest and productivity. And that similar thing. Sometimes you have to give yourself rest, take your mind off your physical body and do something else. And that's where I think some of these activities can kind of tie in as well and make you a more well-rounded person. There's a similar kind of vein in your comment and Peter's comment from earlier, I think.
Absolutely. I was gonna say something, Peter, when I saw that, but I'm over here granddaddy daycaring, guys. So I had to go give my grandson some snacks and everything. So we good now.
Snack duty is the most important thing. You got to get the snacks. Okay. Nothing is more important than snacks right now. I get it. You know?
I was going to say really quick, I went to Empower Fest last September and got up on a horse with help, got up on a horse, but I wrote about that in Amplitude magazine online, so you can read that story. But it was so freeing to sit on a horse and guide it around and know that my legs didn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have legs or not. You can sit on a horse and you can guide it along, and it's almost like you're sitting high up on a mountain or something, you know?
Yeah. Now, Kim, I'm going to, I love this. I love all this engagement. And Kim, I'm going to leave you with the last question, although I'd love if anyone else has an answer they want to share as well, as we're coming to the end of our hour already. I'm going to ask the question, but then I'm not letting Emily off the hook. She's going to tell us her activity and why it matters to her. The question I want to leave out there for everyone as we're kind of coming close to the end of our session is, what do you want new amputees to hear about why activities are not selfish? Okay, like the pep talk to why you should pursue activities. Kim, hold your thought there. We're gonna come to you, and then any other comments anyone wants to share is. But Emily, before we hear that, you told us comedy earlier, but if you had to do an activity, something you like to do, why do you like it, and why does it matter to you?
Well, we went to Painting with a Twist.
Yes, we did.
When Jamie was here with us, and I really enjoy that. I'm not a painter, but if you can kind of guide me, but it's very relaxing and it's engaging, and they even have little games in between.
Yes.
So I like to do Paint with a Twist.
Yes.
So, but I don't twist, because if I twist, then the painting doesn't look so good. So no twist, but
we do like ourselves a Painting with a Twist here at Amputee Aid. Look at our social media. You'll see the painting that Jamie, who's here with us. Hi, Jamie. I didn't say hi to you earlier. We all painted, and we did play a game, and I think Jamie and Emily let me win because I really wanted to win, and they let me. We do like a good Painting with a Twist here.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have Painting with a Twist in your area, we'll find something similar. It is fun. So Kim, back to you. For a new amputee, or maybe someone who's not a new amputee, but they have not given themselves permission to have me time. What do you want to say to them about why activities are important?
Me time is your time And you need to prioritize you before you take care of anyone else, because you can burn out very quickly and easily and not want to do anything. And you don't want to freeze in that period of burnout forever, you know? So I say that me time is your time. Like I used to tell my son when I'd make him go run while I went walking, he'd go, "It's not my time to run." I go, "No, it's my time for you to run so that we both get along later." You know, I knew when he was a teenager, you know, but so you need to take care of yourself. You need to schedule that in or whatever. I've learned to make it a habit now. I've learned to get up by a certain time and have a routine. And occasionally that routine is going to get thrown off. But I know that at 10 o'clock, I'm going to get online and do my Zoom stretch exercises with 500 other people on the Senior Planet. I know that I'm going to have meetings. I'm going to have a chance to get out and go to church or do other things. So your time is valuable. Your time is to help you feel healthy mentally and physically, because you can't give from an empty well.
You can't fill from an empty cup. Your time, you are the most important person in your life, okay? And so your time is the most valuable thing. And I love this. And then Sharon, I want to come to you. I saw you had your emoji up. Clarence, me time is a moment to evaluate your self-worth and self-esteem and know that you are worthy. Yes, I love that. Sharon, what would you like to say to our folks who are watching our recording?
You know, as there's a lot of hobbies out there, and we've thrown a lot into the chat and everything. And I guess the one thing that I would encourage people to do is, if you aren't really sure, like, what is really your time or your thing, I go out to my garage and mess around. And I actually have a sign out there that says I'm in my happy place. So I would encourage people to try different things. And when you feel like I'm just relaxed, I'm in my happy place, I arrange my screwdrivers and pliers, and like, they don't move, they don't ask me questions, they don't need anything from me, and I'm really happy because it looks really good. But you got to think about, like, where is it that you really feel happy, and then that's a good indication of knowing that's something that is you time or me time.
Yes, I love that. And so some kind of concluding thoughts, I was thinking of kind of summoning the wisdom of my grandmother, who was a social worker in addition to being a bilateral amputee, is number one, you cannot afford not to give yourself time. Okay? You cannot afford not to give yourself time. And number two, if somebody gives you a hard time for giving yourself time, that's not your person. Those are not your people. Okay? Hopefully, if you've heard from folks who are attending our session live from all of each other, but also if you're watching our recording or if you're on TikTok, you've heard that the community supports giving yourself time. Don't feel bad about it. It's not selfish. And what other people think about you, that's none of your business. Okay? You make you happy because you cannot afford not to give yourself the time. All right? And that is why we wanted to include this topic. And Kim, thank you for being our lead speaker on this. In our month session about personal advocacy, advocate to give yourself time because you are the most important person in your life. Okay. Look at all the emojis. I love that. I love that. All right. So you saw Lucho bring over the basket. That means giveaway time. Before we do the giveaway, let me give you a preview for next week, which is the last session for our advocacy month. We will have Mr. Henry Bryant, also known as 5 Toes Down on social media, and a patient advocate. Okay. On with us, and we're going to have a twin session, 2 topics next Wednesday, May 27th. We are talking about patient advocacy. What does it mean to be a patient advocate at a prosthetist's office? How do you work with one? How can they help you? And how can you advocate for yourself with your prosthetist? But because we have Mr. 5 Toes Down with us, we're also going to talk about social media advocacy for those social media influencers who are also amputees. We aspire to be one. Some of you are them as well. And we're going to talk about both of those things. So social media advocacy and patient advocacy next Wednesday. And if you come back, maybe there'll be a giveaway. Let's do this giveaway though. Okay. Gift card, $50 gift card to Artists and Craftsmen online store to help you, support you with an activity, help you get involved in a new activity. We took down all the names of our folks who are on Zoom, and Emily's going to draw the winner, and then we'll mail this out to you today. Okay. Who's our winner? Drum roll.
Clarence.
Mr. RoboCop, woohoo! You can't buy barbecue stuff with this for this weekend for your wife, but you can
That's
get something for your grandkids, maybe. I'm not sure if they have car washing things, but you'll find something, okay? Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll put this in the mail to you today, Clarence. And for the rest of
thank
you, you're welcome. Oh, congratulations. Grandpa won you a gift card. I hope that's okay, Clarence. You're going to have to spend some of this on your grandkid now. Executive Director Jennifer said so. Congratulations. All right, guys. Thank you for attending with us this hour and every Wednesday for an hour with Life Amplified, brought to you by Amputee Aid. We will see you back here next Wednesday, May 27th, 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Zoom and TikTok, continuing and wrapping up our session on advocacy, talking about patient advocacy and social media advocacy with Mr. Five Toes Down. Until then, if you are already working with us, get a hold of us if you have any questions. If you're not, click the blue Get Help button on our website. We'd love to talk with you. And until we see you next Wednesday, May 27th, have a beautiful rest of the week. Give yourself some me time and report back to us next week on what you did. Enjoy Memorial Day holiday. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great beginning of next week, too. We'll see you next Wednesday, right back here with Mr. Henry Bryant, Five Toes Down. Take care, everyone. Bye.